Hey guys, it's Avenger. Welcome back to the channel. And we've come back to Victoria Falls here in Africa because I really wanted a chance to fly this in a real plane. I mean, the other one was fun, the little wild, crazy, fictional thing, but I wanted to fly this in a proper aircraft, do some real flying around here, and explore this scenery to its fullest. This stuff was made by Jepson 2001, by the way. I'll link it again in the description. It's a really, really cool scenery. And we're here at Batota Airport near Livingston, which is just above Victoria Falls on the Zambezi River. So let's get ourselves going here, and we'll talk a little bit when we're on the way, because I want to talk about the history of the falls in the area. So, whilst Flo decides it wants to start up, let's get my systems turned on here. Let's tighten down the oil cap. I always forget which way this is up. Open. So it's open. That's correct. Okay, wonderful first step. Right, so let's make sure my fuel is right. Let's crack the throttle. There we go. Let's give her a couple of pumps on the primer. Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And let's give it a go on the wobble pump. Oh, I need to have a fuel tank selected. That's usually a good start, isn't it? Which probably is need to prime it again because I had no fuel being drawn. That'll do us just fine. Right, so we have fuel pressure now. There we go. And we're going to get ready to start this thing, which requires me to hit the starter and turn my mags on at the same time, so we'll do that now. There we go. Nice, easy start. Got the engine going here. Let's get these set up as we need them. Now, we're taking a kayak down, or a canoe down to the Jet Extreme Boat Camp, which is further down the river here. So we'll need to have that on. Our canoe is enabled. Wonderful. Turn the tablet off. And got my other one up here. Which is kind of cool to have. Useful to reference. I love the add-on. So, as we look outside, we have our canoe strapped to our skid. And yes, it's a Kenmore livery. I love their evening livery. It's a stunning one. There with the skyline. It looks very African, even though it's totally, you know, very Pacific Northwest. We'll forget about that, shall we? Okay. Right. Everything's looking decently good here. Temps are all coming into range, so let's get ourselves on the way, shall we? My head switched on here. Now, there have been a couple of aircraft that have come out to review. The Baron was one. I haven't reviewed the Baron. Why? Well, it's kind of the same as the Bonanza, and it's got Bonanza with two engines, really. So there is that, and it's not something I'm seeing myself flying a lot, so I can't justify spending that much money on top of the other one. And also the Romantic Wings Mi-17, which I would totally love to buy, but it looks like an MS Scenery product. It's €35, which is very expensive, and it does not look great. The prop blur on the rotors is kind of heavily masked and looks a bit wobbly. It looks like it came from FSX. I'd hope people would look at that on the various websites it's for sale on and be like, maybe not. Yes, I'm a reviewer, that's what I do, but at the same time, I'm also a simmer, and I'm also not making that much money to the point where I can afford to buy every single add-on and review every single one. I just can't. I'm a human being with an income, and I need to kind of feed myself and pay rent. Oh wait, I don't pay rent, I pay mortgage. There is that. Right, let's get ourselves ready to get our Batota here. We have plenty of runway, and we have plenty of performance. It's dirt, it's slightly graded. The winds though are following for this direction, so we'll get ourselves moving. Airspeed's coming up. Start to lift, nice and gentle. We'll get our gear up. There's the Zambezi River to our left. It's a very different perspective right now to the... There's one of the riverboats. A very different perspective to the little lake skipper, which is a fun little plane, but not that realistic. So it's nice to be able to fly something that's a bit more on the actual aeroplane scale of things. We'll get to see a whole different perspective to this world. And we can fly around a little bit more, go a little bit off the shore and take a look at things. There's some elephants. Huh. Right, so where are we? Well, we're at the Victoria Falls, or in its the native language of the area, Mosi Oa Tunya. I believe it is. Thundering Smoke. And in Tonga, it is... Oh, so in Lozi, it is Mosi Oya Tunya. And in Tonga, it is Shungu Namutima, which is boiling water. Reference to the waterfall. And we've got a hotel over here. That's a cool building, isn't it? It's not what I noticed. See, flying further from the river, you get to see way more stuff around here, and that is a stunning hotel. That's a nice resort. Thing is, though, if I came to somewhere like this, I wouldn't want to stay in a resort. I'd like to sit somewhere more actually native, really. Somewhere a bit more that fits the actual environment in the world. It just feels much more like you're actually there. If you're in a resort, everything just feels stale and like you've been imported from wherever you came from. So yes, it's a habitat to many unique species of plants and animals. It's on the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe, and it's one of the largest waterfalls in the world, a width of 1,700 meters, which is 5,600 feet. Crazy, isn't it? And you can see it's dug its way all over that side, even though it focuses the channel out there. Look at that view. My God, that is breathtaking. Didn't get this perspective, did we, in the Skipper? A lot of traffic down there below us. There's the canyon down below, which we will not be necessarily dropping into much today, because it's going to be a bit much for the Beaver with floats on to handle. There's the bridge over the canyon. We'll circle around here once or twice and take a look. But there's the bridge. Wow. Look at that waterfall. I love this simulator. And I love this scenery that we get to see stuff like this. How cool is that? Let's go third person, take a look here. Look at that. That is stunning. Wow. Whew. Let's get back in the cop here before we start ploughing into the waterfall. Right, so our job today is head downstream. We're passing the Gnashing Jaws of Death Falls and Tighter Falcon Lodge, heading to Jet Extreme Boats, which is where we stopped last time. But we'll have a very different perspective on the whole thing. We've got another waterfall there coming from the river. Oh, I've never seen that before. Let's take a look over there, shall we? Smaller fall, and that's where there's that very sharp turn we had to make. And that's where that secondary river kicks over. Plummets down there. That is so cool. Right, so we need to head over this way. Much too much bank angle for a Beaver. But we'll join the rest of the canyon just ahead of us. See how much this just has eaten through the landscape of this area. We'll try and keep the river on our left-hand side so we can see the most of it as we go. There we go. God, that looks good. There's a boat going up river, see? There's a little speck there. Right here. It's so alive. This scenery feels amazing. You just don't get levels of detail like this. There's a canyon scenery for France, by the way, down in the south of France, which is really beautiful. I installed it, and it ate my simulator. It murdered my computer like Charles Manson. It was bad. Oh boy. It looked great, but it was just like, no, get off. And I could run on what I'm doing right now, 68 FPS on this scenery, on Ultra, and it's just fine. Loving the various rapids and falls down there, they look beautiful. So we're about to come towards Gnashing Jaws of Death, which will be just up here on the bend. Should be down below us, actually. Down there. I don't see it. Let's turn around here. I think we just passed it back there at that junction. But we're heading down to Tighter Falcon Lodge next, and then along our way. That will be the Zulu Mike 17 just ahead of us. There's a number of heliports around here, so this is great helicopter scenery, and there's great little airports as well, like where we took off from. There's 2 or 3 up there. Now, where we're going to is essentially a heliport and for smaller aircraft, but we got floats, so we could make this work, right? Landing on a river? Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm hoping it's deep enough and stable enough for us to do. We'll find out. This will be some real bush float flying. God, look at those rocks. This whole thing looks so different from the air. It's beautiful. Now, archaeological sites and oral history of the area describe a long record of their knowledge of this location. Now, it's known to some European geographers from before the 19th century. Scottish missionary David Livingstone, who was a missionary and explorer, he's the first European to record having viewed the falls in 1855, and it's now known from what's known as Livingstone Island, one of the two landmasses there in the middle of the river. Now, and immediately upstream of the falls, near the Zambian shore, he named the sighting in honour of Queen Victoria, who was the monarch at the time. So basically this place gave it that colonial name, and became a site of tourism from then on. In fact, tourism's been around a long time, especially amongst the wealthy British, unfortunately. It's built up a huge national park and tourism infrastructure around the site, which has been huge for the people in the area in terms of money. And in 2010s, research was found that precipitation variability due to climate change is going to be changing the character of the falls and how they appear, whether that be going down or going up, most likely going down. Alright, switch my head back on here so I can actually maneuver around. It's funny how much you get used to using head tracking to the point where you don't feel that natural not using it anymore. There was a time where I was happy using the hat switch, and now I use kind of a combination, because whilst looking around like this is easy, when you want to look further, it can get really a bit jerky with head tracking. So what I like to do is pan, and then use this for fine-tuned looking. And I can recenter with that as well really quickly. So this should be us here at... It's not, actually. There's another one yet ahead of this. The river's broadening up here. Let's drop down in here a little bit. I think it's mostly kind of pretty calm in terms of its turns from here onwards. Nothing seems too extreme, so we'll try and manage. Yeah, this is pretty narrow, actually. Although we're kind of half throttle, so we've definitely got some play and acceleration to give us if we need it. I'm going to feel a bit more comfortable getting out of this. Let's climb up and above the lip. Because again, I've seen a lot of the view from down there. I want to see more of the view from up above. There we go. Okay. Climbing up over the ridge there. And it's so funny how you got this wonderful wild environment down there in the canyon, and all of a sudden above it, it's just African scrub and savanna. Looks so desolate out there, doesn't it? So pretty. Honestly, this is one of my favourite sceneries I've purchased, and one of the biggest as well. You'll often spend 15 euros on an airport. In this you get 20 kilometres, or miles, sorry, I should say, of this canyon, and about 6 or 7 different airports and heliports, which is nuts. And it's just gorgeous. Power's back there. Wonderful. Okay, so there's our destination up ahead around this curve. So we're going to be wanting to probably land on most likely this stretch here. So I'm probably going to fly past and come around the corner and land towards the camp. Landing upstream will be better for us here. I will want to have a quick look at what the river's like over there. It may not be suitable, so we'll have to work out what we're going to do. It looks pretty shallow though, which might make this quite tricky. The last thing we need to do is clip a rock, basically, the water as we're coming down. Might have been a better idea to try and do this with bush tyres and try and stall it onto the beach. Because I think there's just about room. Although it might be a bit big, flying a beaver. So around this bend on our left there, you can see it just over there. That is our spot, where we're heading to. Right here. There's the cable car, there's the beach. So this is the stretch we're looking at, but it does look a bit deeper there. So we'll go down and do a bit of a recce pass here. And see what we can see of the water down there. We've got some rapids up ahead, and it does still seem to be rapids in this area, which is likely going to make this a bad idea. Unless that part of the river has been surveyed and been checked, and it's been proven to be a clear section, or they've done work to clear it and actually make it slightly smoother over a landing distance, then you would not be doing this. Actually, you know what? This looks much deeper and calmer here. That's much glassier. Okay. That's better. That's way, way better. Yeah, there's no real tons of white water there. It's largely... Okay, there's definitely white water, but... much darker. So, it'd probably be a bit too shallow in real life, but... this looks, sim-wise, it's entirely plausible. So we're going to set ourselves up for a landing here. Let's climb up here. We're not going to be able to turn around in this valley, so we want to try and climb up over the lip, turn around, and make our approach down in the valley. Let's get ourselves up here. Over the ridge. We'll turn around and drop in a little bit further down. And we'll make our Death Star Canyon run. So that's where the scenery area ends and the river just becomes normal. So it's quite tumultuous up to the end of that. But the stretch near the camp there looks relatively smooth. Relatively. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Right. Put a couple of notches of flaps in. We'll turn here. Keep our power on. And we'll start to allow ourselves to lose some speed here. About 80 knots right now. Okay. In the pipe, 5x5. Alright, flaps coming down to landing. We're going to keep our nose up, try and burn off some of this energy we have. You'll see there, we come around the corner up ahead, and we'll be in position to start our run. Okay, everything's looking good here. Boost pumps on. Okay. Flaps to landing. Keep our nose relatively high here. We want to burn off some of that energy we're carrying. There's the beach up ahead of us. Okay, looking good, looking good, looking good, looking good, looking good. We're getting close to stall point. I can hear it. A bit more power. Okay, let's bring her down. Control our impact point with our throttle. Touchdown. Controls. Back. That worked just fine. There we go. Nicely done. Okay, that was successful as heck. Get the boost pumps off there. Brought ourselves in all nicely. Now we just have to worry about mooring. There appears to be a plane there. Or a jet boat. It might be a jet boat. Yeah, I think it is. Huh. That's a big boat. Okay, cut the power. We're going to drift here. Yeah, it's a jet boat. I don't recall seeing that last time. Maybe I stopped somewhere short of this. I think we stopped at the one up there. Like 61 last time. Oh no, it was this one. I just don't recall seeing the boat there. Wow. Alright. Coming into beach. Gear down. And we are here. Bit of toe brake here to help us turn tight. There we go, and cut. Whew, nicely done. And we are down. Probably should have actually pulled the water rudders up before beaching, would be technically correct there, but that looks like a cool boat. Oh yeah, I'd like to ride in that. Whew. Heck yeah, that looks fun. But we made it. We landed here in the canyon, in probably the deeper part of the rapids where it's straightest here, and made it successfully. So that was actually fun. Hopefully you guys have a fun flight. This is going to be a short one today, but I really had to revisit this because it's such a stunning location and a great opportunity to take the Beaver out again, which I haven't done in a while. The Beaver's a lot of fun. So thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you all next time. Bye.